Hello everybody, wonderful day to be chatting about GoPros. Good thing I caught that. This is the GoPro Hero 7. Alright, so there's a couple things that we're going to test out with these GoPros. And as long as you're shooting to the capabilities of the camera, you can come away with some amazing stuff. As we're going, we are testing two different cameras.
Oh yeah, where are we going?
I don't want it to feel like I'm just a fanboy or something, but I have had every GoPro, minus the number 1, which we had an intern get that one. But with the 2 and the 3 and the 3 Plus and GoPro 4, Jonas and I, we actually made like 6 or 7 videos for GoPro. At that stage, we were called GoPro ambassadors. From these early stage GoPros to the 7, there has been some huge improvements. I'm presenting 5 things that I really like about this new GoPro Hero 7 that may make you consider buying one in the future. So let's get started. First is short clips. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to set your camera down?
No.
No. You're always gonna hold on to it because we cannot lose it, okay?
Okay.
Now, I think this could be an overlooked feature. That's why I'm bringing it up. But because I have 2 kids, this may be my number 1 feature. I love this. 15 seconds and they'll stop. Let's try.
Oh, wait, no.
Let's just try it.
Hi, guys. Let's see the animals so far. Yeah, let's see animals. It's almost over.
2, 1. Essentially, because this GoPro is so durable, I can put it in a Jaws clamp like this, hand it to my kids, and say, hey, go have fun. Shoot some video, take some pictures.
Here he comes.
With short clips, they're shooting 15 to 30 seconds. They're really tiny, and they can see each clip counting down. And in fact, there's a little number on the front that'll be like 4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So if you have kids, definitely a perfect feature.
Okay, so we're going this way, I guess. Gorilla information. Gotta see these other ones. This one's eating.
Number 4 is audio. August and I and the whole family are in a corn maze, and we are trying to find our way out, and it is complicated. Now, just as a quick history lesson, GoPros were never known for their audio. In fact, most people didn't know how to use them, and the audio was even more terrible than it should have been. And that's in part because they had them in the housing. So then, but then when the GoPro Hero 4 came out, this one right here, if you put it in a skeleton housing, the audio was fantastic. It was almost like putting a lavalier microphone on you, especially if you had it on your chest or you put it on your head. You didn't even need to mic somebody up. It was fantastic, and that's how we shot all of our GoPro videos with, and the sound was very good. Now, this is the GoPro Hero 5, and the big step up was that the whole thing was waterproof, right? And it had audio. So what was great about it is you could do things like snorkeling adventures, or you could go scuba diving in and out of caves, go surfing, and it was getting wet. So normally you'd have to have this one in a housing, but you were able to talk to this one as well. Now, I found that there were some glitches, things that, you know, I would much rather use this for the audio than this, because the audio was just a little bit better, even though they claimed this one was superior. The 6 improved it a little bit more, but the 7 took it to a level that I thought just sounded really good and was finally totally acceptable. So I have a couple of clips I want to show you. Here is in a corn maze. As we're going, we are testing 2 different cameras for lots of different features, one of which is the audio. As we're going, we are testing 2 different cameras for lots of different features, one of which is the audio. So this is the GoPro 7. What you'll notice probably is that there's not a huge difference. I couldn't tell that much of a difference. I do think the Hero 7 has a little bit more bass, a little bit lower frequencies that kind of bring into it, and I do think it sounds better. But I don't know. That's up to you. That's why I'm playing them. Here's one with a plane going over top. Kind of like weave towards the back end, August, because we went this way, so we need to start weaving back that way.
Grandpa knows.
Hey, I'm trying to get him out.
Grandpa knows.
Hey, I'm trying to get him out.
The take home for me is you have a waterproof camera and the audio sounds perfectly fine to me, at least at that distance. Now, you have to understand that there are some limitations with this whole waterproof ability and audio. So listen to this in the surf.
Hey.
audio is great until it gets wet. And then it sounds like this for just a little bit.
It's pretty windy here at the beach, and we got the big wave noise, which is churning up all the water.
Now that doesn't last forever. Essentially, GoPro has these little holes. I think there's 3 of them. Water, because of its surface tension, likes to stick to things. It will completely cover up those holes, and that's when the audio sounds muffled. So if you wait just a little bit, maybe shake it around a little bit, the water will finally drip off of those ports, and it will sound perfectly normal again. This was just a few seconds later.
The neat thing is that both of these are in waterproof housings, yet at the same time they're able to record audio, which if you only have the GoPro 4 is a huge step up, especially when you're here at the beach.
Number 3, slow motion.
I'm shooting super slow-mo.
Now, they've all been able to do slow motion, but the point is, look at this footage. It's phenomenal. It looks absolutely fantastic. This is basically just an upgrade in the specs. It shoots 120 frames per second at 1440, which is full HD with just a little bit at the top extra and a little bit at the bottom extra. And if you want to go to 240 frames per second, then you're actually going to shoot that at 960. And that's almost double what you were able to do in past versions. So that's a good upgrade. Number 2, time warp. Okay, this is tied for number 1 for me because it's so freaking cool. As soon as I found out you could do hyperlapses, I was doing them with Jonas. In fact, that tutorial is what really set off our entire channel. We're gonna show you how to do a hyperlapse. First million view video. And the thing you have to remember is that hyperlapses take forever to shoot. I mean, you're inching along. To do it really well, it could take you 2 hours to shoot one hyperlapse. It might take you 3 hours to process it when you get back. I mean, we're talking a long time. And here with the GoPro, it does it in the time that it takes you to literally walk the same distance. Like maybe a couple minutes. It's ridiculous. Just because I could, I wanted to kind of test this out. So I took this 5 and I put it into time-lapse video mode. And then I took the 7 and I put it into time warp. And I just walked through the corn maze. So I actually stuck them side by side and just walked. Check this out. This is not something I would ever do hyperlapse with because of the nature of the movements. It would be very difficult and it would take forever. I don't know, I think it's very watchable. I think it's neat seeing the twists and the turns. Occasionally I stop, I could probably cut some of that out, but it looks really neat. Now, I'm gonna prepare you. I'm gonna show you a short clip of the Hero 5's footage. I'm only gonna show it to you though for a second because you may vomit. It is not great. But here it goes. Difference, right? Finally, hyper smooth.
All right, we're out in the surf zone testing the stabilization out.
There's no camera that I know of that is like it. I shoot a lot with a DSLR. If I don't have a gimbal, it is shaky. I cannot walk with a DSLR and get usable shot. GoPro footage is always known for being super shaky. This Hero 7 with Hypersmooth changes all of that. I want you to profile the camera.
Oh.
Now sometimes you can walk more smooth than others. When you're walking into the surf, like August is doing, I'm walking just the same right behind him. It is not easy. But look how smooth the 7's footage is. So I compared the 5 to the 7. Now remember, the 5 also has a little bit of image stabilization in it, but I think the difference is dramatic. And just for fun, I'm gonna play more of this hypersmooth footage. By the way, none of this footage was color graded. I just exported it as is. I will say that on the Hero 5, I had Pro Tunes turned on and I had low sharpening, so that's why you're seeing a little bit of difference between the two clips. I don't think the color profiles are all that different. That's why I didn't even mention any of that earlier in the film, but just so you know, that's why they look slightly different. And I didn't notice that until afterwards. So whoops, sorry about that. You'll have to watch somebody else's video for that review. So those are some of my thoughts on the Hero 7. I know people are gonna always ask me, they're gonna continue even though I made this video asking me, should I get the Hero 7 or should I get some other model? Well, hopefully that answered it for you. As a filmmaker, you should probably have it in your kit. It's a good addition. It's an upgrade from the other ones, especially the time warp and the hyper smooth. It's like you don't even need a gimbal anymore. It's fantastic. If you do water sports and you're not a filmmaker, then you know the addition of having the audio over the Hero 4 or any of the other ones, that's huge. I would definitely get it. Also, you got to think, if you're gonna get your kids into filmmaking, what's the first camera you're gonna give them? That's kind of what I was thinking. I do have a couple of these, so I give them the cameras to walk around the zoo, and they love it. But I would never trust them with my phone just walking around with concrete on the ground. They drop them all the time. You guys have any questions? Leave it down below. The community always loves filtering through and answering them. I'll try to answer it too if I can. Also, I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Are you gonna upgrade to the Hero 7? Or are you gonna wait for the next one? I don't know. Would love to hear from you. We'll see you next video. In case you guys are wondering what we did with GoPro, I'm gonna leave this video, which is on the GoPro channel, and I'm gonna leave this video, which we did that's on our channel. We have a whole bunch more I'll leave in the description. Now I gotta edit this video up. GoPro Hero.